This is VSBE Group Sprint 4 Review. So the outline, what we're talking about today is stuff that we've added onto the system, which is the two views for slots, algorithm for creating slots including an error page, delete a therapist, delete a therapy, view all therapists, cancel a booking from a therapist perspective, and cancel slot pop-up. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is the two views for slots. So if I click on the view slots button, we've now implemented a new feature. So you can either view slots by date format with the drop down menu here to select, or if you click on therapy, you can now view by all the available therapies. So you've got reflexology and osteotherapy. You might not be able to see that, but you can see all the that we've got a drop down menu, and then if you click search, it will then bring up the all the slots that are just from that one therapy in date order as well. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the algorithm for creating slots. So we've now implemented a fully fledged algorithm for the therapists to create slots with. So on slot times here, there should be a drop down menu, but you can't see it for some reason. But we've got 30, 60 and 90. So the user would select the length of the slot, choose which therapy, choose which room, put in a cost, put in a date, which I'll put the 10th in, select a start time, which I'll put as 8, and select an end time, which I will put as 11. And click submit. And it's come up saying that you've successfully created a slot. This is just for testing purposes, this bit here. So if I have a look on slots on the 10th, so if you go to view slots, and it'll come up with the date, click the 10th and click search, you can see it's created 8 to 8:30, 9:30 till 9, 9 till 9:30, so on and so forth. So it's created them in half an hour increments, and we've also put some validation rules on there as well. If I just go and test this out now, so for example, the start time cannot be greater than the end time. So if I just randomly fill this information in here, so say the start time is 1 o'clock and the end time is 8 o'clock. If I click submit, it comes up with an error saying that the start time needs to be earlier than the end time, otherwise it wouldn't work. And we've also got some validation on as well. So if I select 90 minutes and I put the time in, so start at 8 and end at 9:15, it'll come up with an error saying that it has to be in a multiple of 60 minutes, and we've got that implemented on all of the time slots, so 30, 60 and 90. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is delete a therapist. So we've now got the option for an administrator to delete a therapist off of the system. So if I click delete therapist, you get a list of the names of the therapists who are currently enrolled onto the system. If you click delete, it will come up with a pop-up saying, are you sure you wish to delete this therapist? If you click delete again, it will then give you a confirmation message saying that this therapist has been deleted off the system. This also deletes the therapies on offer as well in the therapies on offer table. So just in case there was any bookings or anything, that would be deleted. And to follow on from this, we've also got delete therapy. So if you click on delete therapy, we've got a list of therapies here. So if there's test therapy, click on delete. Same again with this pop-up. This is also displayed as well on the cancel slots pop-up for users, to just as a final confirmation to make sure that the user wants to confirm that they want to cancel slot, or in this case delete a therapy. So if I click delete on there, that's then deleted that therapy, and that's just for testing purposes up there. So if I go back on here, click on delete therapy, and it should have gotten rid of that therapy. And then if I go back to the therapist page, and it's deleted that off there as well. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the view all therapists. So on the system we have done a bit of rejigging at the top of the menu bar. So if you hover over therapists, we've got therapy menu, view therapies, which is the same as the view slots page, available therapists, and my bookings, which is the page that a user would click on to see all their current bookings. So if I click on available therapists, it will then come up with a page with a list of all the therapists that are currently enrolled onto the system. Also, it's got their bio, a picture, the name, and the therapies that they offer. So if I click into, say, my name, for example, it will then come up with more detailed information, like the therapies I offer, with a short description of each therapy. So the last thing I'd like to talk about is the cancel a booking page from a therapist perspective. So we've got view my bookings, which is what a customer would see. A customer who's actually booked onto a therapy. But then we've also got view my bookings therapist. So this is a page that a therapist will go on to see their bookings. It's sort of the same as the booking report, but it's instead of printing it, you've just got a list of information. So you've got what therapy it is, what room number it is, the date, the time, the cost, and then is booked. So if there's a line across it, it means that it isn't booked, and if there's a tick, it means it is. So if the therapist wants to cancel a session for any reason, there's a drop-down list which contains incorrect time/date, illness, or change appointment day. So if a customer is already booked onto a slot, it will then email this to the customer. So if I cancel this slot, for example, it'll pop up and say you've successfully cancelled a therapy session. I'll just double check that has actually worked. So if I click on view my bookings, so you can see that one that was ticked is now completely gone. So what happens is that if a customer is booked onto it, we get the email address from the database and we send them an email that looks something along the lines of this, saying there's an important update regarding your booking and that it's been cancelled. And it'll say the cancellation reason in there, and also what the therapist is. So it'll say, for example, on that one, just wanted to let you know that unfortunately Sam Collette, which is the therapist who was booked onto it, has had to cancel your appointment due to illness, and that's the cancellation reason that's been selected from the drop-down menu.